Hi everyone, welcome back to the class. In this class, we are going to learn how to design cold water bottle icon. So, without any further ado, let's get started. So first of all, we will grab the rectangle tool and then from the center of the artboard, we will create a rectangle. Now we'll go ahead and adjust the height and width of this rectangle and then create a duplicate copy of this rectangle and move it towards the bottom. Now we'll create another duplicate copy of this rectangle and we will bring it towards the bottom on this side. Just make sure that all of the sides of these shapes are properly aligned with the icon guide. Now we will just grab these corners and bring them towards outside. Now we'll create a duplicate copy of this polygon that we have created and then we will flip it vertically. Now we'll select all the bottom shapes and bring them towards the lower part of our icon guide. Now we'll create another duplicate copy of this rectangle and adjust the width and height. Now we'll select all of these shapes and then from the stroke options we'll go ahead and select the second options to make the corners rounded. One thing we need to do over here is we will increase the weight of the stroke all the way up to 9 pixels. Now we are just making a few adjustments in the corners of the designs that we have created and we are going to make the corners rounded. Now in the next step what we are going to do is we make the upper part of the design. We can simply select this design and create a duplicate copy of this design and bring it towards the top, and after that we can just rotate it. And then we'll bring this shape over here towards the bottom. And now we'll select the upper section and bring it towards the center. And now we'll add a point in the center using the pen tool and delete that point. And now we'll select this part over here and we'll do the same thing for this as well, and we'll make this shape open. And in order to do that we will add a point using the pen tool in the center and then we'll delete that point. So as you can see, after doing that we have achieved this kind of look. Now just make sure that every part and every side is properly aligned with the icon guide. Now let's go ahead and create the opening of this upper page. Now let's go ahead and design the opening of the upper area of our bottle. So let's grab this shape and create a duplicate copy and then we will flip it just like that. And now we will decrease the width of this design. So now you can see that we have achieved this kind of look. Now we'll go ahead and we will create the cap of this bottle. So we'll simply grab the rectangle tool, and on the top we'll create a rectangle. And now we'll select the upper two corners and make them rounded. And I will go ahead and increase the height a little bit more. So now you can see that we have created this kind of shape for our design. Now we'll select all of these shapes together into one single group, and then we'll group them together into one single whole shape. Now we'll go ahead and design the center part. So from the tools menu, we'll simply select the ellipse tool, and in the center of the bottle we'll create an ellipse, and then we will just grab this upper area, and holding Alt on our keyboard we will go ahead and click on that. So you can see that we have achieved this kind of look, and we will bring it towards the top, and we will adjust the lower area a little bit. And now I will decrease the stroke width, so you can see that I have achieved this kind of shape. So now our design for the bottle part is ready. We will go ahead and start creating some additional icons in the side. So we'll go ahead and start creating some lines. So I will just go ahead and grab the line segment tool, and on the side I will create a line like this. Now we'll create a duplicate copy of this line and rotate it, and then we will create another duplicate copy of this line, and then we'll rotate it on the other angle. One thing over here we are going to do is we'll grab our rectangle tool, and then on the edge we'll create a rectangle and we'll rotate it as well, and then we'll grab the upper corner of this rectangle and we will delete it, and as you can see we have achieved this kind of look. Now we'll select both of these shapes and we will align them, and we'll create a duplicate copy of this shape and bring it towards the bottom, and we will rotate it. Now we'll select all of these shapes and group them together into one single group, and we will create two copies and rotate them just like we have done before for these two lines. But before that we'll just delete both of these lines and select this whole group, and we will decrease the stroke width a little bit. Now we'll create a duplicate copy and rotate it. Now we'll create another duplicate copy of this shape, and now we will go to transform options and select reflect, and now we'll select all of these shapes again and make them a little bit more thicker. Now we'll just group them together into one single group, and you can see that we have created the snow shape icon. Now we'll bring a duplicate copy of this icon over here on this side, and we will move the other icon towards the top. So now you can see that we have achieved this kind of complete composition of the icon. Now we will group all of these shapes together into one single group, and we are going to create a backup copy of this whole design. And now our icon in the line art style is ready. Now we'll go ahead and create this icon into the fill style. So let's go ahead and create the duplicate copy of our artboard. Alright, so now when we have created the duplicate copy of our artboard, we'll go ahead and create a backup copy of our icon, and we'll bring it outside of our artboard. Now we'll select our design, and then we will expand this whole artwork. So in order to do that, we'll go to the objects menu, and from there we'll select the expand option, and you can see that this pop-up appears. We'll select OK. Just make sure that fill and stroke options are selected. So you can see that we have achieved this kind of look. Now we'll go ahead and select these options from the shape mode in the Pathfinder window. Now before we move forward, we'll create a duplicate copy of our expanded artwork as well and bring it outside. We simply need to do one thing, is that we are going to create some lines or some rectangles to create the separations between our design. So we'll create some rectangles, and these rectangles should be same as the width of our lines. So first rectangle I will create over here and bring it on the top, and then one by one I will go ahead and select my design elements and delete the fill that is inside. Now in the next step, I will go ahead and isolate this design and make it fill as well. And now in the third step, we'll do the same thing. And as I move forward, I will keep repeating the same steps. So as you can see that I have created the fill style of my bottle. Now I will start creating the separations between all of these lines and all of these shape elements. So in order to do that, I will just create several duplicate copies of this line, and then I will just select both of these shapes and merge them into one shape. And then using the shape builder tool, I will just get rid of this part. And now I will do the same thing in the lower central area. So now you can see that we have achieved this kind of look. So I feel that we can have the same gap over here like we have on the top and all other places. So we'll just select lower two corners and we'll bring them towards the bottom, And now we'll create one more gap over here. So we'll bring this line towards the bottom. So now you can see that we have achieved this kind of look. Now we'll go ahead and select this icon over here in the center, and then we will make it into the fill as well. And then we will go ahead and just delete this area. So now you can see that we have achieved this kind of look. Now our icon in the fill style is ready as well. We'll go ahead and select all of these shapes, and then we will just go ahead and use our shapes mode, and from the first option we'll just merge all of these shapes together into one single shape. Now we'll go ahead and start designing our icon in the colored style. Alright, so now let's go ahead and create another duplicate copy of our design. So let's go ahead and bring it towards the forward. And now we'll start adding colors to our artwork. So this time what we are going to do, we'll just make all the colors in the gradient styles. So before we start adding colors, we'll need to create a color palette in the gradient style. So I need to define all the colors that I want to add in my icon. So let's go ahead and first of all I will start adding or creating the color palette. So over here I will create a rectangle and I will choose some colors. So these will be the two colors in which the transition from one color to another color is going to happen. So first of all I will select the two sides of the colors, and now in this rectangle I will define my gradient. So over here you can see that we have created this gradient, and now we'll select this shape over here in which we are going to add this color. So as you can see that using my eyedropper tool, as I added this color of gradient has been applied over here. So I will apply the same color in this part. So you can see that I have achieved this kind of look. Now I need to define which color do I need to add over here in the other elements. So I will bring a duplicate copy of my gradient color guide, and then I will go to the recolor artwork, and over here I will select advanced options, and then from this dialog box I will select the edit option, and I will just change the color variation from this handle. So by doing this and playing around with different variations, you can see that my color is changing. So I will go ahead and I will keep doing that, and I will stop at the spot where I'm pretty much happy with all colors that I want to apply, and then I will select OK, and then I will select all these shapes where I want to apply this color. And then I want to select all the internal shapes as well, and I will add this color to them, and I will make it darken. And in order to do that I will repeat the same process from the recolor artwork windows. This time what I need to do is I have selected both of these shapes and I want to make them darker. So I will just go ahead and from the last option that says black, I will just dim out all the colors. So you can see that I have achieved this kind of look. Now I will select these snowflakes designs, and then I will apply the same color into these icons. So you can see that we have these colors over here. One thing we can do over here, that we can apply the radial gradient into this option. We can also play around with some other colors if we want to try out some different colors. So you can see that anytime we can go back and try out with some other colors as well. So now you can see that we have achieved this kind of gradient colored look for our design. So now we'll select all of these shapes together into one single group, and our icon in the gradient colored, fill color and line art style is ready. Now I will go ahead and see you in the next class.